Well, hello, my fabulous friends. Hope you're doing well. Well, something a little bit different today. I've done a blog post up on Mystical Fortune's website, and I've been really studying Machiavelli. Oh my lord, I can't believe this is happening. Machiavelli. This. I wish you could crawl into my brain sometimes and understand what is going on in my brain when I see a word and I know how to say it and the mouth is not online, the tongue is not working. Anyways, it'll come to me. You'll figure it out. So he wrote a book way back in the 1600s, I believe, and it was called The Prince, and how to become a prince, and different things that you should and shouldn't do kind of things, and human behavior. And it really helped a lot of kings, how to rule their people kind of thing. It's almost like a backstage Bible, you could almost call it. So one of the things that Machiavelli, see, I knew it. One of the things he talked about is dangerous people. And of course, back then they didn't have names like narcissists, psycho. I mean, they didn't have anything like that. But I want you to listen to the 9 dangerous people to avoid. Actually, it's 10. The 10 dangerous people to avoid. These are the ones that he would tell the kings, the princes and the kings and whatnot to avoid. And I want you, as I read it, I want you to imagine who this would be describing today. So imagine he's coaching the king about these are the kind of people he should avoid. And shall we begin? The overly generous giver. They shower others with gifts, favors, or kindness, but at a great personal cost. When the resources dry up, they may turn resentful or manipulatively demand loyalty you can't give. Number 2, the flattering opportunist. They praise you constantly and mirror your views, not out of loyalty, but to gain advantage. When your power wanes, they'll abandon you in an instant. Number 3, the chronic complainer. They always have a grievance, but never a solution. Their endless dissatisfaction drains morale and poisons alliances. Number 4, the rash and impulsive. They act before they think, starting conflicts, making reckless promises, or endangering your plans through their carelessness. Number 5, the cowardly avoider. They fear confrontation and will desert you when the stakes get high, the first to flee when trouble comes. Number 6, the two-faced schemer. They appear loyal to all sides, carrying tales from one camp to another. They thrive on secrets and betrayals. Number 7, the overly honest idealist. Brutally direct and morally rigid, they may expose your private strategies out of principle, even when silence would serve the greater good. Number 8, the incompetent pretender. They promise skills or results they can't deliver. Trusting them costs you time, resources, and credibility. Number 9, the vindictive grudge holder. They never forget a slight, real or imagined. They bide their time waiting for the moment to settle the score, even if it hurts everyone involved. Number 10, the self-saboteur in disguise. Masters of their own downfall, dragging you along with them. All right. So those are actually, like, you have to remember, he wrote his book in Italian, and these are the translations, but these can fit into today's personalities. I'm pretty sure you know who fits into many of these. Not everybody's going to fit into all 10, but but be careful of people who even have one of these. So how do his dangerous people compare to modern narcissists and borderline personality disorder? which we've discussed a lot. Now, before I go on, again, you guys know I'm not a psychologist. I'm not diagnosing anybody here. I'm just putting out the information, and that's for you to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. But so, like I said, they wouldn't have, Machiavelli didn't have our modern psychology terms like narcissist or borderline personality disorder. So the narcissistic traits, the classic Machiavellian dangerous types, like the flattering opportunist, the two-faced schemer, and the vindictive grudge holder, do echo modern narcissistic patterns. Charm and manipulation, flattery used as a weapon. Lack of empathy, they'll betray you for self-gain. Grandiosity and entitlement, the incompetent pretender who overpromises is classic. Envy and sabotage, the grudge holder who can't stand others' success. In clinical terms, these fit the narcissistic personality disorder cluster. Exploitive, fragile ego, resentful, and image obsessed. The borderline personality traits. Some overlap also exists with traits seen in the borderline personality disorder. Extreme idealization and devaluation, like the overly honest idealist who turns on you when you break their black and white moral code. Emotional instability, the rash and impulsive or the self-saboteur who causes chaos for themselves and everyone nearby. Fear of abandonment can show up as manipulation or sudden betrayal when they feel slighted. Now, there is a disorder called Machiavelli. I'm so sorry. There's the word. It'll come to me as I relax and read. Machiavellianism in psychology is a personality trait describing someone who is cunning, strategic, emotionally detached, and willing to manipulate others to get what they want. In modern psychology, it's one piece of what's called the dark triad, which includes Machiavellianism, manipulative, calculating, pragmatic, narcissism, grandiose, entitled, needs admiration, psychopathy, callous, impulsive, lacks remorse. So those are the dark triad of personality traits. And the traits of, and it's called High Machiavellian. A person scoring high in that word that I'm stumbling over tends to use flattery and deceit sorry, my dyslexia is really not doing well today. Of course, use flattery and deceit strategically. Believe that the ends justify the means. Show little concern for morality if it blocks their goals. Prefer indirect influence, convert tactics, gossip, rumor. Be skilled at reading social dynamics and exploiting weaknesses. Keeps their true motives hidden behind a friendly mask. They're not necessarily violent like a psychopath. They're more political chess players. And when you read that, I think that's where in my personal opinion, I mean, I'm just giving you the information, and this will all be on the blog post. You can go back and read it yourself without my tripping over things. The dark triad. This was, to me, the missing piece of what we perceive in Meghan Markle. And the way she uses flattery and deceit strategically. And we know the narcissism is there and the psychopathy is there. And this was the missing piece to me. And when I was reading up on this, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now, the key difference is Machiavelli didn't pathologize. He didn't see these as mental health issues. He saw them as natural human flaws, magnified by power and opportunity. He assumed people were mostly self-interested and would act in manipulative ways if it served them. But you have to also remember, he did not know of any psychology terms then, right? There wasn't nothing invented then. You were just, you were just an asshole or you weren't. So let's just use some modern frames of these traits through diagnostic criteria. Machiavelli framed them through behavioral patterns to watch, test, and manage. So the flattering opportunist is the narcissistic personality. The two-faced schemer is the Machiavellian and sociopathy. The vindictive grudge holder is the narcissistic injury paranoid traits. The chronic complainer is dependent, passive-aggressive, or borderline traits. The rash and impulsive is the borderline traits, impulsivity, and ADHD-like behavior. The incompetent pretender, the narcissistic, overconfidence imposter. The self-saboteur, borderline personality, self-destructive traits. The overly honest idealist, rigid moralism, black and white thinking, borderline personality disorder traits. The cowardly avoider, avoidant personality, conflict avoidant. So that's what they, oh, and then there's one more, the overly generous giver. They are codependent people pleaser. And then the third line here, and I won't go through this third box. It's on the blog post. I'll have the post link down below. It's how to handle it. And when you see how to handle it, it's exactly how the royals are handling it. Exactly. So the overlap, the dark triad. In modern psychology, the dark triad, narcissism, Machiavelli, anism, psychopathy, neatly fits his dangerous people list. Narcissism, fragile ego, constant admiration seeking, Machiavellianism, manipulative, cunning, cold strategy, psychopathy, lack of remorse, impulsive aggression. There is a note here that the borderline traits can't blend in but are quite the same. Borderline personality disorder is more about unstable emotions and relationships, while Machiavelli's concern was power dynamics and betrayal. So the bottom line, yes, many traits he warned you about overlap with narcissists, borderline traits, and the dark triad personalities. Machiavelli's advice remains timeless. Don't moralize it, manage it. Watch actions, not excuses. Control them through self-interest and strike decisively if they cross the line. So don't moralize it. Don't say, oh, you poor thing. You manage it. You manage it by cutting them off, right? So it's timeless. That's another reason I wanted to bring this up. These problems have been problems for people, for kings, for hundreds of, probably 1,000 years. And he was the one who came up with the idea of how to manage them. And you have to manage them, otherwise they become a real severe problem. So Machiavelli's universal rules: test loyalty repeatedly. Words mean nothing without action. So, like Harry and Meghan want this olive branch. Well, that's just their words. What are their actions? What are they doing to prove that they can be trusted? Keep dangerous people divided or dependent. I found that very interesting. Use them while they serve you. Remove them swiftly when they threaten you. Control information. Secrets are power. And you look at some of the secrets around, the king. We know he has cancer. We don't know what kind. We don't know how that's going. Also when Catherine's cancer, secrets are power. And you can just tell they're clawing and trying to figure out what it is. So, that the Harkles can exploit that information. Expect betrayal. plan for it before it arrives. And that was another thing that kind of piqued my interest a bit, that the Queen knew before Meghan married Harry that she did not love him, she engineered him. And so she expected this betrayal. So, like I said, this is all going to be on the blog post. When you look at this, I wonder why that says 9. I'm pretty sure I changed it to 10 before I printed it. The 10 dangerous people to avoid. It's they were diagnosing people hundreds of years ago, but they didn't have a term for it. They just called them dangerous people. And actually, do we need a term other than dangerous people? Because they are. They will absolutely destroy and upset your life if you let them. So that is about the female half of the couple. I don't even want to say her name. I know I have, but and part 2 here is I'm going to talk about Harry and his 10 self-sabotaging traits that Machiavelli talked about as well, about how you can self-sacrifice and how to get yourself out. And once I read you those, you're gonna hear Harry described almost to a T. It's almost as if Machiavelli has time traveled and has diagnosed Harry. So on to part 2, that's coming up next. Yeah, I just like doing different things where I think a lot of us are so sick and tired of whatever their names are. I thought I'd do something a little bit different. All right, again, the link will be down below, and I will see you over in part 2 where we discuss what's going on with Harry. Thanks for watching. See you online. Bye for now.